one quick question, Dorina, before speaking of hot takes. I don't know how you feel about Blade Runner 2049.
Get ready.
You don't know
Get
how I feel
ready
about
for
it?
RB3.
Nah.
Oh, no.
It's his least favorite movie of all time.
I wouldn't say that.
Hates it.
No, I wouldn't say that.
I'm
I
like,
don't-
bro, chill.
I wouldn't say that.
It's not that bad.
Stop it.
I don't hate it like RB3 does, but I do agree with him on lots of things about it.
Yes.
Oh, so you know
about
his
time we have
takes
some
on it.
reason.
Not all of them, but
Okay.
the stuff that's the thing. RB3 is one of the few people that'll actually read his tweets instead of scroll through them.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
because I usually agree with it, so like we both like pineapple on pizza.
Yeah.
You know,
Shit.
so that's pretty good because
Yeah.
those people are tough to find.
Yeah. Nah, it's
But-
few and far in between.
Yeah, but apparently we also agree on Blade Runner.
Yeah,
so,
and I'm super. Yeah, that's. See,
Hey,
I'm
man.
even more excited.
Like you
I was
love
already
Joker
excited.
like I did.
Yes,
Like,
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
We're like this.
Yeah.
Like,
And you know my Joker takes out.
yeah.
RB3 always brings it up.
Yeah, he's not a fan. I don't think Andres, you're not the biggest fan of it, right? Like,
But speaking of Blade Runner 2049, though, I actually ended up, when I saw that movie,
Yeah.
that whole week after I saw it, I was, like, my friends and I could not stop texting each other about it because some of us loved it, some of us hated it, some of us had issues with it. And same exact thing happened with Joker.
yeah.
Interesting.
Same exact thing. It's pretty fascinating.
I mean, Joker. I just feel like it's not that it's a bad movie. It's just that it's so.
Because it's a good movie, Ace.
I agree. I think it is a good movie. I just feel like the type of deepness, profoundness, whatever you want to say, is so surface level. My God, it's so surface. I'm angry
No.
and I'm lonely.
No.
But I'm gonna shoot these guys, and it's like, bro,
No.
like, oh,
It's
man.
about classism, dude.
Yes.
It's
Yo,
like
I don't know.
preach to
Is
him.
it?
Preach-
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is
Yes, it fucking is.
though,
Yeah.
or is it classism if you're white and if you're male?
No, it has nothing to do.
And if you're old,
I loved.
and if you feel like you're going crazy.
No, I loved. Who was it? What's his name? He's from London.
I don't know.
You know what
Russell
I'm
Brand.
talking- Russell
Russell Brand.
Brand's
Yeah,
take
I
on
saw
it.
it. Yep,
He
yep.
finally worded perfectly what I've been feeling.
Yes.
Is that this movie got so much hate before? Have we already started? By the way, I'm just ranting.
No.
Yeah, we're rolling. But
Oh, okay.
we can
haven't
include this.
started.
We don't have to. But
Yeah,
I just like
Yeah,
ranting
let's
away.
not.
And I don't even know. But no, really quick. Like he perfectly worded what I felt about the movie, which is like it got so much hate before people even saw it.
That's true.
And it literally was like overly woke film Twitter being like, I don't want to sympathize with like a straight white man and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, first of all, that's not who the Joker is to me because I've been fascinated by this character since I was a kid because he's supposed to be the yin to like Batman's. They were both created
Like the antithesis.
by a chaotic society,
Right.
But I didn't even want another Joker movie. But what I loved about it is that yes, the Joker happens to be a straight white man. However, his struggles isn't because of that. His struggles are because of the
Society.
how he grew up and
Yeah.
how and how his mom never got the help she needed and how he didn't get the. In fact, like not only did they shut down all the like which happens all the time, like mental health facilities and programs for people, but they canceled his medication. Right? Like there's
Yeah.
a bunch of things on there that I think. To me, it meant that, okay, this person decided to do bad things due to his circumstances, and I don't agree with his choices, but I do understand his pain and what led him to make those choices.
Here's my counter to you. This is supposed to be some sort of homage to Taxi Driver. And Taxi Driver, you know this, everyone knows this, is one of the most underscoring racist movies there is. It's literally about a white guy kind of expressing his dominion and hatred over every other thing, whether it's a black man, whether it's a woman. And that's kind of the ideology that this movie's coming from. It's coming from the perspective of someone who sees the villainization of the black woman, because that's what he sees, whether it's the ending of the film or the beginning of the film with this therapist. And you know this too because you said it in our review. And it's that idea of like his possession of a black woman, his idea of a black man, the classism is only referred to in this little bubble of white people, and that's kind of
I
my.
disagree with
But that's what Taxi Driver is.
Yes, but that's
and
not
that's
what the
this
Joker
homage
is.
But
Is
it's
it?
a-
Are we
it's a
three?
level
Come,
love
come on.
No,
letter.
the Joker.
See, you keep your thoughts hidden when someone likes the Joker, but what about the
Alright.
criticisms, bro?
No, but I
like
understand.
it.
I understand the criticism that you're saying, but that's like really quick because I get very obsessed about this movie.
Yeah.
And this is why I've been texting for so long.
Yeah.
But no, Taxi Driver, yes, it's filmed in that way and it
Yeah.
takes from it. But if you look at the movie, like most of the people he actually attacks
Yes.
are
white people.
rich white people. Like he never once attacks his therapist, or we don't know what
Yeah.
happens with his imaginary girlfriend. Like he
Right.
doesn't actually. We don't actually see that he hurts her,
ambiguous, yeah.
right? And so to me, it just, in fact, his followers, or who are I'm assuming later become his cronies, they're even in the shot where he's with his girlfriend and she's saying, "Oh, I'm glad they died" or whatever. I think that that's a representation of Gotham as a very fractured society, and whether you're white or a minority, you're struggling because people like Thomas Wayne
Yeah.
don't give a shit about you.
Yeah, and
That's what I took from it.
And you know, I think that's even reaffirmed. You know, they're originally going to cast Alec Baldwin as Thomas Wayne,
Right.
Yeah.
But then they were too scared that the Trump parallel would be too obvious.
Yeah.
So that
And
to me
it would
That
be
makes
too
sense.
obvious.
yeah,
It
yeah,
would.
yeah.
Anyways, that's how I nerded out about
Sure.
it. So.
I just feel like this movie does have certain. I just feel like it's so surface level.
I agree with that. In the
It's
sense,
just not. It's so on the nose that the movie literally starts like 5 minutes in, and you're like,
that bothered me too. I agree.
God, this is so like. It's not as deep as I thought it would be. It's good, but it's just not like, man, it blew my mind because it made me like this movie, for example. This
Original Blade
movie
Runner?
has layers on layers on layers on
Well,
layers on
yeah,
layers
I
on
mean,
layers on layers.
let's not
Yeah.
compare
Like,
it
it's
to
I'm like
a
nobody's
masterpiece.
comparing. That's what I'm saying. Nobody's comparing Joker to like Blade
I'm
Runner.
comparing
or-
it to other
I
superhero
kinda
movies,
disagree,
though.
though.
I'm comparing it to
Exactly.
other comic book movies, and the MCU. Most of those movies would wish they were that fucking deep.
I disagree. I think people are comparing Joker
Not
to
the
movies
part
like
there.
these, and I think film Twitter, certain areas, that's kind of my issue. And I think you can come back, hopefully, Sabrina, because. People are saying that.
Right.
People are, this is the greatest movie ever made. It's a
It's
masterpiece.
That's not even film Twitter though.
But
that's
that's
like
like-
I've noticed that
and I
from
was
like,
like, bro.
casual movie going audiences. Like
It's
people
not
I went to
that
high
good,
school.
yo.
Yeah, people
But
are
it's,
like,
it's a
this is
mainstream.
the best scene of
yeah,
all
it's
time.
not
It's
that
mainstream.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's mainstream popular though. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
literally people who
I
like
agree with that.
who like.
It's a good
People-
superhero movie.
People who think Fight Club is a super deep movie also think Joker is a really
Exactly.
deep movie.
Yeah.
and
Sure.
Fight Club is a deep movie, but it's not like
It's not that.
It's
deep.
not
yeah.
that deep.
Yeah.
It's got a cool soundtrack.
Yeah, great soundtrack. Yeah,
but
great
that's-
movie. Yes, a wonderful movie.
It's all
but-
right.
Yeah.
I prefer 7.
Hey, me too. Look at that. We're already in sync.
Yeah,
That's what's
see?
up.
That's what I'm
All right,
saying.
man.
Yeah.
You didn't say any of your other points, but that's cool.
What other points?
Moving on.
I enjoyed
to-
that. I think that movie's a great movie.
Yeah, but you agree with me.
Agree with you,
that-
why?
on the sense that everything is from his and it had that Taxi Driver effect of the sense of his POV. Like, look at every single black character in that movie.
But
And
what
the way
about them though? Like he
they're-
didn't
they're
attack them though.
They're literally on the bus calling him out. They're his therapist that is deceiving him. They're at the end of the film who's
He's
We
not
know the
deceiving
therapist,
him.
yes.
No.
Yes.
because
He
she even says she's like, oh,
No,
like they don't care
I'm
about
not
you. They
saying
don't care
about her.
Me.
I'm
Exactly.
saying
okay.
his perspective is you don't even care about me. That's his
I
perspective.
disagree because he would have hurt them otherwise.
He did at the end of the movie.
No, he didn't. When did he hurt them?
Well, that's what's implied towards the end.
No, we
What the-
only
what the-
see
the
him
last
physically
therapist, I
hurt
guess.
the
That's
people
what the
that
last
actually attacked
No,
them.
I'm saying the last therapist.
Right. Whoa, I thought you meant like the
The Zazie Beetz.
No, I'm saying the last therapist, the one who's literally interviewing him after he's in
Oh, I
prison.
was confused. I thought you meant the girl, like his
No.
actual therapist throughout the movie.
No.
That
The
tells
last
that
one.
literally tells him what Sabrina just said.
No, the
where
one
it's-
about the joke
Right,
where it's
right.
like, I know this joke,
Okay.
but you wouldn't get it. And it's
Right.
like,
Because that's when he's the Joker already, right? But
Yeah.
but he was Arthur. He was trying to talk to this other therapist
Yes.
who told him they don't care about us, and that's
Yes.
the whole point of the movie to me. They don't rich people don't care about the little people. They just
Sure.
want to keep making money and not paying taxes like Jeff Bezos and all that.
Yes.
Don't even get me started.
Exactly.
With that shit.
Yeah.
I agree,
Preach
and
the
I'm not
choir.
disagreeing with any of that.
Yeah.
I'm simply saying that everything is through this twisted lens of this ideology of trying to fit into this perspective of finally, like you said, the angry white man has a movie, and it's like
I quoted Twitter and saying
that's
that.
what he's saying. No,
Yeah, I quoted
I know
Twitter
you
and
didn't
because
say
that's
that,
what Twitter thinks. And
but
I
that's
did.
what I'm saying. Like that's kind of the
Now, Ace,
vibe that I'm like, is that really like?
Let me ask you something. How did you feel with the speech at the end when he's on the talk show and he literally
Yeah.
says, "You guys get to choose what's right or wrong. You guys get to choose what's funny or not." Like I heard it in my head, film Twitter exploding, and me going like. Because I fucking agree. I'm sorry. People do, like, everybody's always, like, telling you, you can only laugh at this. You can't make this joke. Even if you were raped, you're not apparently supposed to make a rape joke, even though it helps you, like in a therapeutic way.
Yeah, I actually told you this last week. Was it you last week? I
Might
actually
have
think
been.
that's the worst scene in the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
we were talking about that
And I said that's the worst scene in the movie.
Well,
I loved it.
Because it's not subtle. It's so in your face. It doesn't leave anything to the imagination. It literally screams, "I'm lonely. I'm insecure. I'm so mad. You guys get to. If you would walk over me." And it's like, bro, we got this the whole movie. You don't need to scream it at me. Like that to me is not subtlety in filmmaking. That to me is just this overt way to say, "Look at me. Look at how great I am.
What do you
Look at
think
how
is a
I'm
what do you think is a
cinema."
subtle?
And I'm like,
what do you think is a subtle superhero movie?
I'm saying in the sense of messaging and branding
Right.
need to be expressed through the story, through visual references, through musical references.
They were though. The music was the best part of the movie.
Of course, and that to me,
Yeah.
the cinematography, the
Yeah,
music,
that's fucking amazing.
That's fucking amazing. Yes, him screaming at this dude saying, "I'm angry and I'm lonely," is just not subtle storytelling. It's not subtle filmmaking. It's just this weird way to try to fit. And everyone Parasite is 20 times better than this movie, and
well,
it says
yeah,
the same
Nobody-
thing.
listen, bro,
nobody
it's-
disagrees
that's
with
what I'm
that.
saying, bro.
Nobody
It's like-
disagrees with that.
We
Like,
can't
Parasite
measure
is-
it to that level.
No, yeah.
Like,
There's-
can't
Yeah,
measure
you
there's-
it.
can't
people
compare
on Twitter.
you can't compare comic book movie to Parasite.
Yeah.
Parasite is a fucking amazing like.
Well, I feel
masterpiece.
like
Yo, this is Todd Phillips
Well,
we're
like the-
talking about.
Yeah.
My
We're just
friends-
happily surprised.
Yeah.
okay.
Go ahead.
My friends in high school, like they saw Joker, but they're not going to go see Parasite. Like that's the truth. So
Yeah.
that's why we're not
Here's-
comparing those two levels.
You know what I
Yeah.
compared it to in
So
our
that's why
review?
they think it's a masterpiece.
You know
Yeah.
what I compared it to in our review? Remember
Yeah.
what I compared it to?
Yeah.
What did I compare it to?
What'd you compare it to? I forgot.
The Joker. The Joker movie.
Oh, what'd you? I don't remember.
Dark Knight.
Oh, yeah.
I compared this to Dark Knight, a superhero comic book movie. Dark Knight runs 20 miles around this movie.
Nobody's
Like,
seen it.
oh my God.
But we're talking about
2008's Dark Knight?
Yeah, nobody
It's a
saw
superhero comic
Yeah, but
book
nobody
movie.
saw it though. My point
No
is
one
like
saw Dark Knight?
I don't think so.
Bro,
Wait.
that movie made like $1
Oh,
billion.
you're talking about Dark Knight, the
Christopher
Nolan one.
Nolan's Dark
You know what I
Knight?
was thinking about? Dark
one?
City.
No,
Dark City.
not
I
Dark
was
City.
like, that's a great movie, but
No,
nobody
no,
saw
no,
it.
no. I'm talking about the Dark Knight.
Dark
Yeah.
Knight.
That movie, remember I told you? I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, that Joker is so fucking profound. And he literally doesn't have to say shit. And already is just 20 times fucking better.
I think it's different.
100 times
it's an
fucking
origin
better.
It's an origin story.
Yeah, I
It's an
agree.
origin
and
To
the
me, it's
fact
like
that you
Man
don't
of
even know what the
Steel.
fuck he is.
To me,
Yo,
it's like
exact-
Man,
it's
but
just-
that
You're
it's just-
talking about the thing that you're talking about, the scene that we talked about and said is probably
Yeah.
the weakest scene.
It's so bad.
He's not addressing us, like he's addressing like the people in the
Exactly.
movie and
Yeah.
about everything that we just saw. So like that's why
He's putting
I
on his
think it could've-
propaganda train,
Yeah,
like, yeah.
for the story, it's for that audience, not us, because we're seeing it throughout. But that's so I agree, it's the weakest. But like I get what Todd Phillips was going for.
100%.
I don't think he executed 100% well,
No.
but
Yeah,
also he did it better than I could. So
Yeah, I definitely have issues with the movie that I would have changed. I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
a perfect movie.
Yeah.
It's in my top 10 movie of the year because of reasons that I'm just like a nerd.
Yes.
But
Sure.
I don't compare
Same.
it to a Parasite
No.
or a
Yeah.
Jojo Rabbit
Mm-hmm.
or a Midsummer. To me, those
Yeah.
are movies that are just like incredible.
Going
Does that
off
make
that,
sense?
would you nominate this as a best picture?
Yes, because fucking Bohemian Rhapsody was
I agree
nominated,
with
so
you.
it doesn't fucking matter because that's a shitty movie.
Also, this
Thank
is
you.
probably
Yes.
the best. This is probably the
Thank
best
you.
comic book movie we're gonna get, and we've gotten in a long time. We're
Yeah,
gonna get in a
like
long
I
time.
loved
disagree with that.
I loved Endgame.
I loved Endgame too.
But when I saw Joker, I was like, this is better. I like it better. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I like it more.
So I agree with you because here was my issue, and I told you this last year with Black Panther.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, Black Panther should never be nominated. And I'm like, Bohemian Rhapsody got nominated, and you guys are coming after Black Panther. Bohemian Rhapsody.
No, don't do that. Don't do
so
that.
bad.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Because I came at this
No,
exact.
I talked more shit about Bohemian Rhapsody.
No, it's not about Bohemian Rhapsody. I came in here and sat in this very seat, and I said Black Panther is just as good as Gladiator. It's just as good as Gladiator, and deserves to win Best Picture. Just because if Gladiator can win Best Picture, so can Black
course,
Panther.
I agree.
Because they're equally good movies, right? You argued
No.
the shit out of me off that.
I didn't argue that because I love Gladiator.
Yeah,
and you said,
yeah.
oh, Gladiator, everyone knows Gladiator's okay. And I was like, bro.
Well, I'm not saying Gladiator's
I
okay,
think
but I'm saying it's on the
Gladiator's
same level as
incredible.
Black Panther.
No, you said Gladiator was okay. You're like, everyone knows Gladiator's not that great. And I was like, bro, whoa.
I'm saying
I love Gladiator, and I love Black
I'm saying it's a
Panther.
great action movie. It's a great
Yes.
action. I put Joker in that same, like, it's a blockbuster. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
Same
I put
here.
it. I don't judge
Okay.
it to the same standard
Yep.
as like you said, Parasite or like Jojo Rabbit
course
or
not.
or Marriage Story. Like, it's not that. It's but the fact that it made $1 billion, the fact that it had. Listen, if this was a Joker movie with zero Batman references, with actual like
Yes.
subtle dialogue and storytelling or whatever,
Yes.
and if it was like a real art house movie,
Yes.
then there'll be a different conversation.
I agree.
But the fact that it's a blockbuster that's mainstream,
Yes.
you have to give it. You have to cut it some slack.
100.
I agree.
100.
Yeah, and
I
it's
agree
more
100%. Good movie, great superhero movie.
Yeah.
100%
Origin
agree
story,
with you.
yeah.
It's not an art house masterpiece
no.
that saves
Not at
cinema,
all.
and it's just not.
Who
it's just
says
not.
that, though?
It's the no.
Back me up, girl.
It's
I've
not
seen-
even film Twitter
'Cause
though.
you
It's
tweeted
not
about
film
this.
I've
Twitter.
seen people.
Everyone
I've seen
says this.
so many people hate on it so much.
Film Twitter's shitting on it.
Film Twitter
It's the
hates
rest of the
it.
world.
No.
It's the rest of the world.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. The rest of the world is saying
Look,
that
this is a masterpiece.
But
But that's what they
it's saying a
consider.
masterpiece,
That's what they
greatest
consider.
movie
Their
ever.
level is
And I'm like,
different. Some people
yikes,
just
yo.
don't care. Some people see Parasite and they're like, I don't want to watch that. It's a foreign film, and then they watch
don't
Joker
wanna
and they
read
love it.
subtitles, yeah.
So
Look-
it's just it's a different like audience.
It's also interesting because I'm assuming a lot of us are like comic book movie or comic
Yeah,
books
absolutely.
nerds.
I am, yeah.
And so we grew up reading them or whatever. But my friends that aren't nerds
Yeah.
that watched this movie texted me
Yeah.
because they know I love this stuff and they loved it.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing I've gotten is people telling me, yeah, it just kind of made me think I should be kinder to people.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Which
that's
is-
awesome.
It worked,
I'm
it
glad
worked.
it's making a ton of money if that's what people are getting.
You know
Yeah.
what? Maybe it's just because I'm on a different high.
I think
with
so.
No, I'm on a high.
Oh, I
with,
thought you said hive, like
No,
our
no.
bubble of nerdom.
No, that too. But I'm on a different high on fucking Watchmen. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh, but
Let's
that's
save
something else too.
Wait,
though.
can we save the Watchmen talk for when we talk about Blade Runner? Because I was going to make that same comparison with Blade Runner.
Because I said it on fucking council today that everyone's like.
Blade Runner 2049 in terms of sequels.
The last thing I'll say before I gotta go pee. I'm sorry. We haven't even started yet.
Actually, can we just clip this part out and
I
just
think we
put
should
this as an extra piece of content? No,
so,
seriously.
so
I don't
my
care,
thing, no,
that's
please
funny.
don't, because I'm already gonna get so much. I already got hate, bro. Those Joker people come after me.
It was all me.
Probably.
Just
They were
different
like,
YouTube
Maybe side
accounts.
accounts.
Yeah,
die. And I'm like, I need to die. But the last thing I'll say is like, I just feel like after seeing something like Watchmen, and I texted you right afterwards, I was like, and I said it on council, I'm so sick of people being afraid to just give us something that pushes it, man. Give us something that references this comic book that everyone loves. The way that Lindelof is handling Watchmen and the way he's taking this and saying, I'm going to take this and say, yes, all honor, all respect to it. But you know what? What if this happens? What if that? And just expanding it. And I said, I'm sick of Star Wars just being like, oh, people are not going to get it because they're dumb. Audiences are dumb. And they're not going to pay tickets to see a smart movie.
That's
and I'm
Disney
like,
for you.
Bro, look at Watchmen.
Yeah.
How many people have read the Watchmen comment and are enjoying the show?
I'm loving it.
And a
I'm
lot of
obsessed with
people haven't read the Watchmen comic, and yet they're still enjoying the show. Like, it's possible. Like, stop being afraid. Like you said,
To alienate fans.
to
You don't have to
alienate fans and
yeah.
take risks, man.
But
All right,
here's
I'm
the
out.
okay. But really quick,
All right.
to me, Joker did take some risks. Not in the sense that
Not
you're
in-
talking
on
about. Let
Watchmen
me
level.
finish it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Not comparing it to Watchmen. I'm comparing it to other big blockbuster superhero movies. How many of these movies that we see in the theater don't have like a half of the movie is CG action sequences,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
This is like I love the fact that I got to see a personal like character story. I don't get like Logan.
Yes.
I was just gonna say.
Fucking love
Yeah.
Logan so much. It's my favorite comic book movie since Dark Knight.
Yeah,
And
the same here.
Yeah.
Same
And
for me.
I prefer that type of storytelling.
I agree.
As opposed to like seeing the Avengers like steal, oh, this bad guy took another rock and I have to save it. I just don't care.
Yeah.
I agree with
Does
you.
that make sense? So that to me was
100%.
risky.
However, and I told you this 2 weeks ago on our Martin Scorsese talk, I don't think action scenes take away.
I can't stand for this. Nah, you're not gonna get away with it.
I'm not saying this.
Don't
I'm
say what you're
simply
about to
saying.
say.
I'm simply saying.
Do they always
What?
fight this way?
I'm always in the middle, and I'm like, I'm
I
really
didn't say it. What did I say?
It's like
I know what
marriage
you're about to
story.
say.
Adam Driver's
No, go
Scarlett
ahead, go
Johansson,
ahead.
and I'm their child.
I don't think action scenes take away from storytelling.
Some of them do.
Which ones?
Like a lot of them. Name a movie and I'll tell you. Like Civil War. I was like, oh, that scene looked really pretty in the airport. And then the rest of it, I was like, I don't care. Because the stakes of the actual friction between the two sides,
Yes.
I didn't believe it.
Okay.
And that was a personal, maybe that's a personal thing, but
I
it
think it
just
might-
didn't hit
yeah.
me. Because Winter Soldier, completely different. I fucking love Winter Soldier.
And Winter Soldier has more action scenes than Civil War.
Because they're handled properly.
And
And because they actually reflect
the story.
Exactly. They serve the story.
Okay.
Most MCU
I feel
movies
you.
that have action sequence in them do not serve the story. Even Black Panther that I love.
Yes.
I'll come
That
back
shit's
at
too
you.
long.
I'll come
Exactly.
back at you
Third act, yeah.
because I'll defend Civil War and not Civil War, Winter Soldier because I think
I love it.
Winter Soldier is incredible. You know why? You know why I think it is? And I told you this too when we did our conversation about it. You know what makes Winter Soldier better than almost because the action scenes are actually grounded. All the other action scenes in the MCU are just CGI fest, whereas Winter Soldier, it's one dude fighting another dude, and they're trying to fucking
It's
kill each
satire,
other,
yeah.
and you feel it. And I'm just like, that feels real.
Stunts.
There's real
versus
stakes.
like
Yeah.
aliens flying everywhere, and I'm like, fuck, bro, I can't keep up.
Agreed. Yeah.
Versus two dudes beating the shit out of each other, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm done. I'm gonna go pee.
I'm sorry. That's what's up.
Man, I'm excited if
Yeah.
this is what to expect.